Okay, so just one more. Back up to our source. Do the ankles. Let's see. Depends on where we want to wrap this. I think we don't want to wrap it along the joint. I'm going to do it actually up here. So I'll make this a little bit thicker than the other one, the knee one, to kind of match the elbow one. See how it looks at least. Yeah, that looks like a weird place to put it. Let's clear that. Let's put it. Let's just try it across the joint. So it may end up being pretty skinny. Sharpen it up there, and then extractamundo. Not pretty, so let's delete that. There's a couple spots in the mask we need to clear up. The little lasso thing caught this little edge here. Oops, wrong way. So we'll just clear that off. Clear it off of there. Oops. Oh, I guess we're looking at this foot now. Okay. I think this should be a little better. You just kind of do that number. Okay, now we'll extract again. It's a little bit prettier looking, so I'll go down here. Repeat the process. Just doing a little bit of cleanup. Now we're going to pull some of these. I mean, this isn't realistic. That's not going to, unless he's got some kind of super glue on his, or, you know, on his little cloth bands there. That's not realistic. But we'll make them clothy here in a minute. We're just trying to get the sources to use first. I mean, this will need to pretty much, let me show you. This will need to be tight like that. So it'll wrap around like a piece of cloth is there. And we'll put a little bit of something to make it plausible. Stuff I'll show you very, very soon here. Okay, before we move on, let's rename it just to keep ourselves organized. Very important. Very, very good. Throw that mask off the source of the actual dude. And let's see how we're doing. All right. Seems kind of cool, right? Let's look at our design now. We had these little dangly bits, right? We need to add those. So to do that, there's a couple different ways to do this. We can just import a little mesh, a little bit there, or we can just, there's just a couple of different ways. So the way I'm going to do it is go to the shoulder one, as we have a piece we can do there. I'm going to go to the Dynamesh world. Maybe a little bit higher, not that high. Okay. Symmetry back on. I'm going to go to, well, first I'm going to prepare an object. We're going to go to insert cylinder, but I'm going to change the object that it's inserting. Well, actually, instead of doing that, let's just use insert cube, and we can do something with that. So we'll just simply drag on. Whoa. I hit the control key and it did some wacky stuff, so we'll undo that. Just trying to get it to be a different scale, really, so didn't go nearly as planned. Not a big deal. Let's hide the rest of this guy. There we go. Let's get here. I'm going to go basically edge to edge. Zoom out a little bit. And I'm just going to pull with the shift key. It'll pull it along the axis. I'm going to just grab that end handle. And let's look at it in context here. Okay, now that we're at this point, we need to get it to rotate. So I'm going to rotate along that bottom circle. One more click, just make it straight down. That's pretty close. Turn on transparency so I can see just a little bit better. Now this needs to go straight down because gravity. So that's why I'm doing that. Just get a little bit more finicky with it here. And then this way, just a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to scale it. And instead of using the actual scale icon here, I'm going to use just move, and I'm going to just uniformly scooch it over like that. And then same thing over here. It pretty much needs to be the same thickness as the rest of the armband, because ideally it's a cloth that's being tied together, so you don't want it skinnier or fatter. We want it to be the exact same size. So we'll go in here and stretch it, hit the shift key again, we'll stretch it out a little bit wider. Okay, now I want to rotate it so I can see it. This might be a little bit tricky. Rotate's kind of misbehaved on me lately. Not doing exactly what I'd like it to do. I'm going to go in the bottom view and do this because I can't get it to do it along that transverse axis for whatever reason. Just do it like this. Actually, I'll just kind of keep it diagonal. Okay, now we need two because there's at least two different. Actually, we're probably going to need four because there's one band here that's got to tie together, and then there's another one here. So to do that, we need to just bring it back to the move thing here, and we'll hit Control. We'll just drag one over. Okay. And then I'm going to make a couple of shorter ones. So I'll do the Control, go along the edge here, shift it up, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller just to give it a little bit of variety. And I'll move it forward, rotate it just a little bit just to kind of offset. One more time, Control. Zoom in a little bit closer so we can all see. And we'll get a little bit more finicky here soon with placement of all this stuff just so it reads right. But now we just want to get all the elements in here first. All right, now clear that. And we're going to do, before we create a Dynamesh with it, because the geometry of this is way too, has way too many long faces, which we all know ZBrush does not like subdividing or sculpting along really long skinny faces or polys. So we're going to, before we Dynamesh it, we're going to make it a auto groups. Okay. And the reason for this, let me change the color so we can all see it. is that it's going to merge all this stuff here, and we don't want that to happen. So we're going to turn on the group feature in Dynamesh, and it's going to keep that all perfectly intact. I'm going to do some quick polygroup assigning. I'm just basically doing a series of hides and unhides to match up symmetry. Okay, all done. And now we can do the Dynamesh thingy. Let's see, where did it go? Geometry, that's why. Okay. I'll turn on group. You'll see that when you hover over it and hit control, it'll tell you what it's going to do. It says it's going to split the Dynamesh into separate pieces. They will be kept as one subtool, however. So we're going to hit that. And then we're going to just redo the Dynamesh. There you go. And now everything's not added together in there, which is nice. If we hadn't done that, it'd have blobbed them all together like this, which I don't want. So there you go. Fun little trick, eh? Okay, so that guy's done. At least the source. We'll probably need a little bit of blobbing to happen. We'll probably just sculpt that into this upper part. That's basically going to be the knot, and we'll get that all worked out. Let's go add the same thing to the knees. Okay, on the knees I can just hit Shift Tab. I can tell, make sure I'm on the right subtool, or just look over here. But I rarely look over there to see where I'm at. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add similar stuff to this guy. It's going to be the same kind of approach here. So it'll be a little bit repetitive, but we'll try to do it real quick. So insert cube. First we got to go into Dynamesh mode. Pretty sure, right? Maybe you can do it without it. No, you don't. Yay. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to reapply that in a way that actually makes sense. Okay, let's do the old hide everything else trick. Oh, we didn't have symmetry on. Let's try that again. Sorry, guys. Gotta have my symmetry action. Okay, same thing here. Use the move. Get the corners matched up right. Make sure you check it by going to the different angles. Hit that corner or the end circle. Hit Shift, drag out, rotate down, so on and so. And we'll thin it up. Like that. Make it a little bit thicker in general. Okay. Let's turn on this guy so we can see where this is all going. The same thing here. We got two bands, so we're going to need 4 strands. Control drag. Got the other one. Just kind of rotate it a little bit, offset it, and we'll organize that later. And then control drag again. Rotate. And then we'll make it a little bit shorter here. Just same thing we did last time. Just assuming that one of these cloth strands, when he made his little outfit here, was a little bit, you had 2 different strand lengths. It just makes it a little bit more interesting to look at as well. Gonna try to rotate this guy. There we go. And then go to the move, hit control, drag it over. There we go. Okay. And not Dynamesh, we're going to do group. And then Dynamesh. Oops, we got to assign the groups. Let's do that real quick. auto groups. Okay, got them all assigned. Did that kind of off camera there, just so you know, it didn't just magically happen. Okay, where were we? Okay, now we're going to Dynamesh, this guy, group. There you go. Actually, let's crank up the resolution just a little bit. There we go. Okay. Kind of looks weird now, I know, but we're just trying to get the source there first. So this is going to look kind of cool in Sir Dumber. Have these little cloth dangly bits here, so that should look pretty neat. Let's just match the color on, let's see, which ones are which. Shoulders need it, and then the ankles, I think, also need it. Okay. Oh, we forgot the knee one. There we go. Happy times. Okay, I don't think we're going to add any strands to his elbow. We may have to, but for now, let's just continue on with the way these guys look and get those looking all nice and pretty. So there you go. That's how you get those little things extracted and add some geometry to make little strands and move it onwards.